Greetings and welcome to this presentation. My name is Amanda Hickey, and today I will be discussing how the initiatives and referendums are at the heart of the direct democracy in Arizona and how it is presented in the Arizona Constitution. I'm going to begin by talking about the basic definitions of initiatives and referendums as discussed in the second edition of Understanding the Arizona Constitution, written by Tony McClory. Initiatives and referendums are ways that amendments are made to the Arizona Constitution. Initiatives are proposed by the citizens of Arizona, and they propose amendments through the petition process. With referendums, the legislature proposes an amendment and by having a majority of votes in each house. If both succeed in having the amount of votes they need, the suggested amendment will appear on the ballot. There are two types of initiative procedures, the constitutional initiative and the statutory initiative. For the constitutional initiative to be successful, there are two stages, the petition and the ballot. This initiative allows for voters to make changes to the state's constitution. Registered voters can petition to have an amendment on the ballot. A form is provided by the Secretary of State, and because this process is done by the citizens, the government does not assist in how it is written or give any legal advice. Once the petition is filed, the collection of signatures that support it must equal 15% of the number of voters in the prior governor's election. These proposals must stick to one subject. A positive aspect of this initiative is that it allows voters to approve or deny changes or additions made to the Constitution. It allows people to feel part of the process and have their voices heard. The simple threat of a petition process can force the legislature to act on issues that they may otherwise ignore. Conversely, a disadvantage to how this process works is that most of these initiatives don't make it past the petition phase. The statutory initiative permits citizens to put forward changes to common laws such as education laws, criminal laws, and tax laws. These proposals can be to change laws that already exist or for new laws to be enacted. The process follows the same as the Constitution initiative, and the government does not give guidance on how it is prepared. Once the petition is filed with the Secretary of State, the collection of signatures that support it must be at 10% of the number of the voters in the last governor election. A positive aspect to the statutory initiative is that if the majority of votes are yes, then it gets passed into the books and is enforced like any other law in the state. One disadvantage to this process is that even if the petition does receive enough signatures to go to the next phase, it must pass voter approval. As for the referendums, there are three types: the constitutional referendum, the statutory referendum by legislature, and the statutory referendum by citizen petition, popular referendum. The first two are proposed by the legislation, and the third is proposed by the citizens. The constitutional referendum must be approved by both the House and Senate separately for a proposed amendment, but only a majority of the vote is required in order to make changes to the Arizona Constitution. Voters can allow or deny constitutional amendments proposed by the legislature. Once it is approved, it goes to the people to vote. This will happen at the next election. There can also be a call for a special election, but this is less common. A positive aspect of this referendum is that even though the House and Senate must independently agree to the amendment proposal, there only needs to be a simple majority of votes. Unfortunately, the subjects of these proposals have been increasingly related to monetary issues such as tax, spending, or debt. The statutory referendum by legislature referral is when the legislature wants to make changes to ordinary laws in the Constitution. When these proposals are made, they can be sent directly to the governor, which is customary, or it can be sent to the people to vote in the next election, unless there is a special election called. If it goes to the citizens to vote on, the majority of the vote is needed for it to pass. If that is not achieved, the proposition is dispatched. A positive aspect of this process is that it can go directly to the governor. This makes the process quicker. This offers a more certain outcome and is a more cost-effective way to get the legislation passed. A disadvantage to this process is that when it comes to high-profile issues, legislature can use this method to avoid voter backlash and can seem like the easy way out. The statutory referendum by citizen petition, the popular referendum. In this referendum, people have the rights to vote on laws that are already in place. It allows citizens to approve or deny statutes that are proposed by legislature. Registered voters can do this by creating a petition and getting 5% of the signatures that are equal to the votes that were cast for the previous governor's election. This measure also prevents legislature from misuse of referendum exemption, which has a positive effect to how it is applied. Unfortunately, this referendum is not a very powerful tool. Between 1912 and 2008, only 34 of these referendums made it to the ballot. In essence, initiatives and referendums serve the same purpose. They are both procedures on how to make changes to the Arizona Constitution. They both have to follow the proper channels in order for changes to be added to the ballot and to be voted on and either passed or denied. It is who has the ability to start the process that is different. In the constitutional initiative, the statutory initiative, and the statutory referendum by voter petition, popular referendum, it's initiated by the citizens. Whereas the constitutional referendum and the statutory referendum is legislative. It is the legislature who begins the process. These initiatives and referendums support the idea of direct democracy as outlined in the Arizona Constitution. By having direct democracy, it allows citizens to have more control of their government. With the initiative set forth in the Arizona Constitution, voters can approve or reject items that they themselves have drafted. This is done entirely by the citizens. As for the referendums, voters again have the ability to approve or deny items put forth by the legislature. These measures support direct democracy and that the laws are decided by all eligible voters and not just the state representatives themselves. Thank you.